I'm here in my mother's hometown, Metaw, and I nearly died 3 days ago. I am scared of death because I live very presently and I would hate to die before having a child. I'd be like, what was it? Was it worth living? Was it worth getting my period since I was 13? Knowing that this is my fate? Howdy, and welcome to episode 5. I'm currently here in Metaw, Vietnam, visiting my mother's hometown. I am a Mekong Delta girl, or half of it. And I've booked this hotel and I've only had time out of this whirlwind couple of weeks to really sit down and record this episode. And when this incident happened while riding a Grab to Saigon, I was like, oh, this is a good episode. When I nearly died. God, guys. Those are the battle wounds. Surprisingly not bad for death injuries. So just a little context, I am here in Vietnam visiting family. I'm going to a wedding, also got a bit of work as well. I'm just really grateful. Like 12 months ago, I decided to come back to Vietnam for 7 weeks at the end of my sabbatical and just reconnect to this place that my mother used to call home, where my grandmother is buried, where my ancestors are from. And every time I go on a Grab, I get very emotional. I don't know if it's the wind beneath my wings feeling, or wanting to buy a bikie, but getting on a xe ôm, which is called a car hug or a vehicle that you hug. Om is hug. I just get really emotional, and I'm getting emotional now because I see this beautiful place that had war ravage it, not just by, the Vietnam War, but multiple wars of people trying to conquer this land. And I feel really grateful that I get to be here. And there's conflict in that too. But I try to live in the moment. I know what feels right and good, and I am here. I'm here in my mother's hometown, Metaw, and I nearly died 3 days ago. And look, I am scared of death because I live very presently and I would hate to die before having a child. I'd be like, what was it? Was it worth living? Was it worth living? Was it worth getting my period since I was 13? Knowing that this is my fate? But jokes aside, I love life. I love love. I love experience and people. And I really love my life. So I don't want to die. I don't want to die. So I think that's why I just live life to the max. I go where I need to go. It might be very selfish, but oh well, we only have one life to live, right? So live it now. Back here in Vietnam, and on Sunday we had to drop off my mum back in Metaw. She has been home in nearly 10 years. And I felt this not guilt, but there was a wronging in me going, we'll be back in Vietnam 3 times in 12 months. And my mother has not come back to Vietnam in over 10 years. And that didn't feel right. It didn't feel like I was entering her home country without bringing her. And I'll talk about Japan and how hard that was on my mental health in July. I feel strong. I feel I can handle my mum. I feel much better within myself because my mental health wasn't great in July. I feel really embodied. I feel full with Vietnamese food. But I feel very warmed. Like I feel I can do anything, and I felt like I could give this to my mum. So I did. So after a couple of fights in Saigon last week, I was relieved I was dropping her back home in Metaw, which is 90 minutes from Saigon. So my cousin and I, we drove her to Metaw. Mum and I were not talking to each other because we had a massive fight the night before. And I was hungover. I had a big party. We dropped her off, and there were some things that we had to sort out, but it was 2 o'clock already, and I said to my cousin, we've got to get back or we're going to get stuck in the rain, and the traffic's really bad in Saigon. Like, I don't want to be sitting in traffic for 3 to 4 hours. It's like LA traffic. It's like peak hour traffic. I hate peak hour traffic. That is my dirty dish. I cannot. I would throw up. I would rather get out of peak hour traffic and walk than have to wait And it's like when I wait for the tram. If I see the tram's going to take 5 minutes, I would rather walk to the next tram than stand and be on my phone scrolling. I would rather be like, action, let's go. That's how I live my life. Action, let's go. We were like, action, let's go. It's 2:00. We better head back to Saigon. We head back to Saigon and we could see that it was about to get cloudy and wasn't going to look good. But we're like, we've got this. We're in the car. We're getting back to Saigon. So my cousin, he lives on the edge of Saigon. So the plan was that he would just drive home and I would just go to Grab. We all love a Grab. I love a Grab. There is such beautiful innocence when a man comes, pick you up, says your name, puts your helmet on you, clips you on, and then you're on your little bike behind him. Say, oh, la la. If you're like you're feeling lonely, you've got a man to hug. And then when you get off, I can never unclip my helmet. So they always have to unclip me. So it's quite romantic still that they have to unclip it. And then you say goodbye. You never see them again. You never see them again because there's about 40 million people in Saigon. I love the motorbike feeling. It's such an adrenaline. And also at nighttime, it's very mark. Like people just ride at night because it's cooler and I can see people having dates, you know. I can see where love blooms in Vietnam. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. But yeah, there's something about, you know, seeing people on their bike, hugging each other and they having their arms rested on their partner, which is really cute. Look, I've had some seoms already, like a couple in Florence. I had a lover in Hoi An last year, so, you know, love a seom lover. But yeah, there's something so emotional for me about being here in Vietnam and feeling it all. And maybe because what happened on Sunday was pretty big and I'm now emotionally letting it all out. Okay, I need to recover. What happened on Sunday? We got to my cousin's house and I caught a Grab. My Grab arrived. He put on my helmet. I hopped on his back and we ommed it back to Saigon D1, which is District 1, which is where all the tourists hang out and I'm a tourist. So while riding, I could see that the storm was going to hit us. And I was like, oh, damn. You know when you can like lick it, you could feel the chill. It was happening. Then the rain happened. He was getting a bit lost, so I pulled out my phone. I was holding my phone, looking at the map of Grab, just to see where he was going, because he didn't have phone on because it was starting to rain, so he had to hide it. So I pulled out my phone just to help him out. I think by pulling out my phone, it actually helped me from not getting more injured, because I'll tell you what happened, which is a motorbike had come from the left of us and then kind of like careered itself right in front of us, which then made my Grab driver do a little skittle like this. And because it was now raining, it was wet. Because of that, we tipped because of the momentum. And then we went on our left side and we skidded for 5 meters. I can still see it now, the skidding. 5 meters. And when people say, and in movies they make a joke about the slow-mo, I saw slow-mo. All your brain can say, oh, fuck. The story doesn't stop there, because there was another couple of motorbikes behind us who was now part of the momentum. And because we had halted, then tipped, there was a couple of bikes that also fell down. There were 3 bikes that went down with us. Somehow, luckily, that bike behind me didn't get over the top of me because we were already on the ground. You know when things stop? It stopped. There was no more sliding. And all I can remember was my phone was still in my hand, held up because I was protecting it. Like the fucking Statue of Liberty. Miffy and all, holding it like the Statue of Liberty. And I went, okay, I'm still alive. And I was like, oh God, my left side, I'm fucked. I don't know what's happened to my left side. And then it was like big commotion. People were like coming up to us. They lifted up the motorbike because we were still on the motorbike, but on our left side. My driver was like, it's a lie. He was like apologizing to me. They lifted up the motorbike and I got up. And all I did was I just held my arm because I could feel the pain. And then I sat on the curb and just waited for the adrenaline to pass so that I could feel if there was broken bones or fractures or anything. Not because I do work in the hospital as well. So I was like, okay, sit down, just let the adrenaline pass and just see what happened. And then everyone else whose bike had fallen got back on their bikes and started riding away again. And it was only our bike that was still on slanted on the side with its like mobile phone thinger broken, no longer roadworthy. And yeah, he kept coming up. The driver kept saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, no, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. And then I kind of started to assess. So this is just, this is 3 days later, but 2 big gashes here and just the spread of the concrete, like just sliding. Literally holding the phone saved me because if I had been here, I would have scraped all a long way. But because my hand was up, my elbow hit the concrete. Then I felt a pain on my foot. And I also somehow cut, this is feet. I'm going to hide my feet. This is a big gash down there, but no bones broken. Wow. Wowzers. People from their stores came out and he's like, you should wash it, And they gave me a towel and one gave me some bandages. Before we left, one of the store owners looked at my driver's toe. One of his toes had lifted into an L shape. So everything was flat except the middle one and it was lifted into an L. Like it curved. And I was like, oh shit, dude. Everyone was like, hey, and and he went, oh, that's normal. I had that before. I was mortified. I was like, I'm so sorry. But yeah, he had an L-shaped toe. He asked me, I'll take you to the doctors. I take you to the doctors. And I said, in my head, I was like, babe, you can't even afford a doctor. This Grab was only 28,000 dong, which is $2. There's no way you're going to buy me medicine. You can't. Germany. Okay, I said, okay. Got on his bike, armed it back to my hotel. And yeah, there I felt the pain. The adrenaline had gone. I looked at my gashes. I was like, okay, this is pretty bad, but could have been worse. I reported to Grab. They're going to, for the next 10 days, they'll pay for any doctor fees or anything. And I should go see the doctor just in case. I did go have a massage a day after, and there is some shock in my arm. There's some soreness on my leg, but the masseuse really got into it. And I think I've got to have another massage today here in Mita because I can. But yeah, I did go to a doctor's practice and I walked in. It was like 9 p.m. and she said, oh, it's emergency hours now. It will cost $109. And I went, nah, I'm good. I'm such a tired ass. Even though I do have travel insurance and even though Grab had said that they will pay for everything, I just didn't want to have to sit in a clinic and get them to test me when there's clearly nothing broken. But I probably will. My friends are saying I should. But also I had a friend who had told me that he had gone to this clinic and he had gallstones problems, and part of the x-ray was also to x-ray his head because they also thought his gallstones were in his head. So I'm just scared that if I get myself x-rayed and tested, they're going to find I'm pregnant. You know, you never know. Maybe that'd be great. So that is how I survived last Sunday. I don't know. There was a lot of adrenaline of like, Dee Dee, you got so lucky. So lucky. And yeah, that's why I decided to go spend a bit of money and stay in this beautiful hotel, which is $80 a night. And my mum's going to come stay with me and I hope we don't fight. But we deserve some luxury when we've had a bit of death. And yeah, it's been really nice to be back here and see my cousins. So it's just like really nice to have family and belong somewhere. And, you know, if, yeah, don't take life for granted. Don't know why I get so emotional, but you don't understand the view that I'm seeing right now is so beautiful. Yeah. Anyway, I hope I cry pretty. Thanks for joining us at The Dirty Dish. Like, share, listen, share with your friends. Let us know where you're listening from and share your dirty dish. It's been so wonderful to hear people dirty dates, and I will do a Dirty Dish community pod episode where we go through your dishes. So do not be afraid to share me your dish. I'm Diana Nguyen.